Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, on the map, Calm Shores. It's match point for Count Von Count now. As the players spawning in, we jump into the game in the top of the map, playing as Kronos in the red color. His name is Grass and Groom. His opponent today in the blue color playing as Isis. His name is Count Von Count. Yes, the map is Calm Shores. What is Calm Shores? Well, Calm Shores is a map with water spawning on the sides of the map, but really not that much water. So it's very, people might say that this map is essentially Anatolia. It's not Anatolia. Anatolia spawns 9 fish on one side, 9 fish on the other side, and a very narrow bit of water. This Calm Shores map, it's not narrow at all. These fish spawns are all slightly off of the shore, and there's a huge amount of space to be occupied over here for ships to move around and raid these fishing ships without taking any damage from the location over here. As we do see Count Von Count, he's actually throwing down a second dock already. He will be sending his Pharaoh forward to start harassing this citizen. Really smart play here from Count Von Count already happening in this game. The only real way to counter this is to have your Oracle already ready and convert that into, like, say an Oracle hero here. We'll see if that's what Grass and Groom is going to be going for, but effectively here, Grass and Groom is going to have to pull back off of this location. The Pharaoh does have a speed advantage here, but the thing that happens with this is Count Von Count's economy gets hurt ever so slightly in these situations here. So we'll see how things are going to go. Is now Count Von Count sending his laborer forward as well to put even more pressure onto this citizen. We see the granary getting put up there as Count Von Count tries to get some sort of a building block here. Doesn't manage to get it, but will be sending that citizen back home here. As you don't have to run all the way home. The Pharaoh's pulled back, and we do see Grass and Groom saying, I'm smart enough to realize this. He's going to be moving over onto this oak tree here as a house needs to get thrown up for Grass and Groom, but a very, very messy start here for Grass and Groom. He gets his mana down. He's going to be having a little bit of troubles here in this game. We'll see what he's going to be doing as a reaction, but a very tense game here. Let's go back to talking about what's different about this map. Because the map has only got 6 fish over on this side or per player, in total, that means there's 24 fish on the map. So if you win one side, you're obviously going to have an advantage. If you win 2 sides, you're going to have even more of an advantage. But you can very easily get some serious damage done on your opponent here from rushing. I think that's the difference between Anatolia and Calm Shores, is that going for a really big rush on one side to clean that up really quickly is going to be much, much stronger. Defending and trying to, and just going, oh, he's rushing, I can just take all of your side of the water, doesn't give you as much of an advantage as otherwise you'd have to expect here. As we do see the villagers now moving over onto the gold. Prosperity getting dropped for Count Von Count incredibly early here, as I think that this is a really interesting play. I haven't seen this before, but Count Von Count going for an early prosperity here to spam docks out as a potential counter to an early advance here from Grass and Groom. It looks to me like Grass and Groom is going to be going for a 430. It's going to be a delayed 430, but a 430 style advance here with just the one dock, one more fishing ship needing to come out. He's going to be able to get that through very, very soon. His temple is up as well, so he can time shift that in. We've got docks just getting planted everywhere over here as the dock coming up on this location as well for Count Von Count. We'll see how things are going to go there as the temple coming out as well. It's going to be a late advance for Count Von Count as Grass and Groom advancing here himself. There's the citizen coming out, Prometheus on the way. This Count's going to be finishing up with those deers. Should be okay here. He's got himself his 6 fishing ships only. Plenty of, there's so many docks over here as Count Von Count is playing very heavily around the fact that, well, that's what happens here. I think that Grass and Groom, whenever you go for these strats, where you go for like one side really fast here. I think the best way to play is to actually drop your second dock over on this location and build fishing ships, build Bareem here, and then drop the dock a little bit later, the second dock a little bit later, because you can't afford to produce like fishing ships and 2 Bareems, so you don't need the 2 docks over here, and you do want to get those fishing spots yourself and not allow your opponent to just claim them all for himself. As more docks coming down over here, we see 3 docks getting thrown up. Count Von Count is really going to be abusing the fact that his docks only cost 50 gold in this game. It's something that a lot of people complain about, but in reality, the villages of Egyptian gather slower, build slower, and it actually ends up being relatively similar to someone who's got 100 wood for a dock to spam those up. You can actually kind of do exactly the same thing with Greek and be kind of in the same position, as we do see the Oracle and the Grass and Groom Promethean coming through to start spamming or start attacking this location over here as the Bareem's coming through to start taking these fishing ships out. We've got this citizen now moving over to drop a dock down to start getting his fishing ship over here. Do we see some more fish coming out on this location? Not just yet for Count Von Count, as the Bareem's checking out exactly what's going on over here. A lot of work to be done to take all of these docks down, as the Bareem able to very easily take these fishing ships out. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Now you can just sit here on these Marky and be Alt-Est, and you don't have to micro this at all. They just sit here, and there's nothing really that the ISIS player or the Egyptian player can do to defend this. So rushing here is super, super strong. As we do see, look at this, the Priest Pharaoh coming forward onto this location. Grass and Groom not paying attention. His citizen might go down. He's pulling back. It's going to be completely fine there. We do see a citizen over on this gold mine here, happily grabbing that location here. Watchtower is going to be coming down here for Grass and Groom. But the thing is, these units can sit underneath the sentry tower here, as the Sphinx going to come in, and that's actually going to be able to take out the Watchtower here as well, as the units pushing around. Beautiful play here from Count Von Count. Going to have a really fun time here in the early game. It's Grass and Groom pulling off of that forest over there, as the dock getting taken down over here, the fishing ship getting cleaned up. Will we see some sort of a dart over onto this gold? We already did, yes. Grass and Groom happily grabbing that gold mine over here. I don't think he's going to care too much about losing this Watchtower, but I think potentially throwing up some wall segments around these towers over here wouldn't go astray. The other thing that Grass and Groom can do now, which is really, really strong, and we don't see it done very often from Atlantia, from Kronos players, is that he's been forced to get Watchtowers out to defend himself. But there's a couple of Watchtowers here that aren't that important. He can time shift the Watchtower onto this location over here and be finishing off the fishing ship here really, really easily as an option, as the Oracle's coming in onto this position, going to be getting taken out very, very quickly. A little bit of a misstep here from Grass and Groom. Probably shouldn't be doing that, as now the Sphinx does spot the villagers over on this gold mine here, pushing that one off. The villager going to have to jump into that mana, going to be idle for quite some time here. Count Von Count having a very, very beautiful early game here, as Nephthys now coming through for Count Von Count to boot, as the Military Academy counter barracks going to be coming up. And what this means now for Count Von Count is an Ancestors Eclipse immediately onto this location probably will be able to take down the town center, unless Grass and Groom can get out a handful of military units and get his Valors down, because he has picked off a handful of those hero oracles. As the Priest coming through here, going to look to try and take this down. We do see the docks coming out. We've got the dock coming up now for Grass and Groom here, as both players have inflicted a solid amount of damage onto their opponent here. This villager over here looking like it's just about to get taken down, as Grass and Groom needs to get something out here to deal with this. We've got a mana coming down onto this position over here. Valor is up for Grass and Groom, but he doesn't quite have the units. Now he does. He can cast that Valor in now, as the Pharaoh already coming through here to get some big damage done. Look at that damage the Pharaoh does. Is going to be getting pulled back. Nephthys does come through here. Will we see an immediate Ancestors Eclipse? Yes, we do. But the Valor comes in very, very clutch here from Grass and Groom. Will it be enough? The villager's going to get pushed off of the gold mine over here, as they're all getting pulled back. We'll see the citizen getting pulled away from this location here, as they're going to be taking down those units as best as they possibly can here. Fishing ship coming out for Grass and Groom. Will he be able to hold here or not is the big question. We do have the watchtowers all around here. The citizen over here shanking away these minions here, as the minions coming through onto this location to try and harass down some of those citizens over here. We do see a really, really low HP citizen. Grass and Groom needs to be careful not to lose anything here during this answers. He's got 30 seconds left as the citizen retreating back does manage to teleport into that manor, as it were. As now we do have a Leviathan through here, so we could actually be using that to take out this location over here, but Count Von Count not going for that one just yet, as the Murmillo or pushing in onto this position. We do see the low HP citizen has been spotted here as the minions will be able to clean that one up. Do we have a Migdol? We've got a Siege Works coming through here, because yes, you're absolutely right here, Count Von Count. You can just go for Priest Siege here in this situation. Do we see the favor through for, No, he doesn't have the favor for what's it called? Spirit of Mart is the Netflix upgrade to make your priests cheaper. He doesn't have that just yet, but he can simply just go for this, and he's going to be throwing a temple down as well. Yes, he's paying full price, but it doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, as we do see this Scorpion Man over here has been caught out by the hero Terma. Will probably get taken out here. One more shot. Looks like this Terma have to move, so they might be getting a little bit inaccurate there, and they both missed that one, so the Scorpion Man will be getting back to the main base here. As that hero Murmillo going to attempt to finish off the Sphinx over here. More units coming through. Looks like the Murmillo does get taken down. And Grass and Groom, while he does have access to all of this fish over here, is now getting taken down on this position over here. As the fishing ship have to get pulled back in. The villager is in to throw down a dock over here and take these fishing spots for himself. The siege towers coming through here to start taking down the Terma, as those myth units coming back. They need to get healed back up though, so they're very, very low on the HP. As now we see Grass and Groom going to be searching around the map, trying to pick off what Count Von Count has. We just see a really nice gold mine over here. A second town center going to be coming up on this position over there as well. You got to ask the question, why is Count Von Count going for this town center here when he could just spam priest down? Imagine having 4 more priests on this location. We'd be having a lot better time here, as we do see the army now coming straight through here, going to try and take out the Sphinx, take out the Scorpion. Does manage to do so, and now these villagers on the front line here going to bring themselves in, start shanking down. Nice garrison marker there from Count Von Count, keeping his Ferret in a very, very nice position here. Nice and alive, and doing good stuff here as the priest trying to take out those Murmillo as best as he possibly can. 15 favor now in the bank for Count Von Count. Still not enough for Spirit of Mart. He's not producing any more priest here, and it looks like Grass and Groom will be able to hold in this position. The water has been split into 2 separate locations over here, and Count Von Count has to retreat back. He's going to be trying to pull back with his siege tower, still producing more siege towers out of this forward location. There's some priests getting produced for Count Von Count. His priests do fall out here. They're going to get taken down very, very quickly. Beautiful play here for Grass and Groom. It looks like Grass and Groom will be stabilizing here. So the big question is, what does he do moving forward? He's got tons of military buildings up in his base, lots of resources here. A second town center not coming up just yet. Both town centers are in this back corner over here and over here, as we do see the citizen going to be moving over here, looking for that location here. Lots of gold in the bank here for Grass and Groom. One thing you can do with Atlantean, which I think is super important, is when you've got an excess amount of resources, you just pull those villages off and put them elsewhere. And you can have a nice time where that's concerned, as these villagers sitting idle for the time being. They do scout that town center up in that very back corner here at the moment. He does have the resources to get it, but it looks like an armory might be coming down somewhere in the next age coming through. I don't see the armory anywhere just yet. Lots of food in the bank for Grass and Groom for the time being, as these units all getting cleaned up. We're now starting to see some raids coming through for Grass and Groom onto this location. Over here, we've got some military buildings getting thrown up on the front, but those are going to get torn down nearly immediately here, as that hero citizen is going to be darting back home. There is a perfectly reasonable gold mine on this location over here. I think that Grass and Groom also has that gold mine to boot over here, so he doesn't know about it, hasn't scouted it just yet. Hyperion's on the way. Town Center going to be coming through as well for Grass and Groom here, as the temple does end up going down. The Terma swinging in onto this location over here, Gonna be attempting to put some pressure in onto these villagers here. The villagers gonna get a rude shock here now, as we do see some axemen and slingers coming through onto this position, as the villagers do actually decide to turn around and start shanking here, which is a good play. Grass and Grim not paying attention here. He probably could have got a villager kill or two, as the lumber camp getting cleaned up over here. Villagers moving over onto this gold mine, potentially going to be throwing a Migdol down here when he has resources. Count on Count's economy a little bit hurting here. Still hasn't got himself all the fishing ships out at this point. It's super important to have this. As you can see, yes, Grass and Groom here has already got his 12 fishing ship out. Does he have Sultan Persane? He does have Persane. Sultan 4 obviously not available yet because he's not in the heroic age, but he will be probably getting that very, very shortly after that, as the Scorpion Men now going to be coming in over here. We've got the Axemen getting sniped down, villagers coming through here to start shanking down these units here very, very nicely, as we do see the Slingers getting cleaned up over here. This Terma all going down, as the villagers say, get out of here, and the Terma say, yucky, 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 run, run, run. And Grassroom does get a big amount of damage suffered there. He's trying to push through onto this location here. He's got some really, really strong units onto this position, but Axeman here can be really strong. The Slingers, good micro there onto the Terma here as well, as the Pharaoh are going to get targeted down here. The Sage here on the back here can do a ton of damage to take out those Slingers. Got to be really careful not to misstep here, as now we're starting to see the Contarius coming through onto this position, as the Sage here does pull back, does get sniped down though. The Siege Tower going down as the Contarius moving forward. They've got a good amount of HP. They've got a good amount of PS armor, so they will be able to stay alive quite some time against those priests here, as the Pharaoh goes down, and now Count on Count is on the back foot yet again. We still have those Terma over here that could be harassing this gold mine over and over again, as we've got the Town Center coming up now for Grass and Grim. Sultan 4 are coming through for Count on Count as he gets his final fishing ship up on that location there. As we've got a palace coming down on the front now for Grass and Groom here. Very, very nice play at this point here. We'll see how things will start going along here, as Grass and Groom economy is decent. He's got 14 citizen, 12 fishing ships. Count von Count, exactly the same in terms of fishing ships. He's got 56 villages. You've got to divide that by 3 to kind of work out exactly where you're sitting in the game. So that kind of means that Count von Count's economy is ever so slightly in front of Grassinger, probably by about 3-ish citizens here. But given the Town Center now coming back up for Grassinger, he's probably going to be able to produce citizen and catch up on the economy very, very quickly here, as we do see, a huge raid coming through here onto this gold mine, as the villagers get caught out here. He only picks off 2 villagers there, 3 villagers going down, 4 villagers going down, 5 villagers going down. A really good raid for Grass and Groom here. He really needed that, as he pushes through. Doesn't need to quite continue that fight over here, as the units coming through onto this position as well. Spearman coming out for Count von Count as he's getting pushed back, as more units swinging in onto this position. Beautiful play here for Grass and Groom here, as the Slingers getting cleaned up nicely here, as the priest Slingers trying to fight back on this position. We see the archers doing some good damage from afar, as the Contarius coming through over here trying to push through onto those villages as well. We've got 145 population for Grass and Groom right now. He wants to fight because he's probably sitting 99% on these town centers here. Somewhat, he hasn't actually started villages from there, but fighting here is obviously what he wants to do, keeping Count von Count on the back foot here. And potentially this gold mine going to be getting expired here relatively soon. So throwing up a palace on this position, we see military barracks coming down. Wouldn't mind seeing some time shifting shenanigans over here as well onto that gold mine here, trying to secure that. We do have a gold mine on this corner here as well, which Grass and Groom should be relatively aware of. And we'll see if he's going to be able to hold on here. Now we've got a monument to the soldiers coming down onto this position to prevent any sort of chaos from coming through here. Another monument to the villagers coming back up in the main base here for Count von Count, as Grass and Groom going to be pulling back here onto this location, as the barracks going to be getting cleaned up over here, as Count von Count in a very, very spicy position here. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. He needs to rebuild all of it. He's got a good amount of barracks actually in his base over here, as the Terma getting pulled in over here. Gold mine still has got itself 2,500 gold left. Still looking scary here for Count von Count. I think normally the best play is to get kind of Mythic Age and get your Osiris out here, but Count Von Count not going to be able to make that work anytime soon in this game. Do we see some cheeky raids here? Yes, we do. We've got the medium spearman moving across the map. This Leviathan looking like a little bit out of place there. Not really needed anymore. Probably could get deleted at this point, but not happening just yet. As now the spearmen are through. They're going to be a good counter to those Contarius, but the Arcus are out for Grass and Groom, and Count Von Count taking these fights down population. Not something you really want to be doing. And here's the thing though. With the gold mine being over here, Grass and Groom has got a lot more locations that he needs to be sitting here. As we do see a palace coming up on this position over here. We've got ourselves 4 destroyers here and the Contarius to take this town center down, as Grass and Groom going to be able to get that one up. The palace will be getting up here as well, as we see some hero Contarius coming through here for whatever reason. Not sure where they're going. I don't see anything else. No, they're just deciding to run away, as the town center getting torn down here as if it matters not. The destroyers super strong. We see the villagers coming in here to repair this one up. Well, mercenary cavalry getting created here, but with the palace now up, the town center goes down. Grass and Groom getting some serious advantages here, as there's that myth unit that those hero Contarius are coming back to defend against. Chaos does get dropped down on that position though to deal with that one, as the town center immediately going to be attempting to get thrown back up for Count Von Count, as Grass and Groom putting ever more pressure in onto this position. He needs to focus that palace here to actually target this town center down. Another option here for Grass and Groom is to actually just time shift this palace in onto this position here to be even more obnoxious. As the Pharaoh coming in, immediately going to get targeted down here, sitting a little bit idle as the Destroyers pushing through 110 of 118 population, as the Spearmen pushing across the map everywhere here. Grass and Groom with a really, really solid advantage in this game. The Citizen is going to be going down. These raids are doing a lot of damage to Grass and Groom's economy as this game continues along here. Destroyers onto this location here, going to be taking this one down. We see the Pharaoh getting targeted down there. Nice play from Grass and Groom to put a stop to the empowerment action here, as the Destroyers will be able to finish that Migdol stronghold off here. And Grass and Groom, he is pushing forward. He's throwing down another palace over here with his hero Citizen, 74 HP remaining on that one there, as the Ark is going to be able to clean up these priests really, really nice. We see another Migdol stronghold over here. Imagine just a handful of units raiding this while this was all going on by Grass and Groom. He's still sitting at 145 of 145 population. The raid's still searching around the map here. We've got more units streaming in for Grass and Groom here, as the villagers trying to make a break for it. He's losing so many. Count Von Count, 64 villagers now in a really, really tough position. Looks like Grass and Groom's economy is now caught up 22 villagers. Here does equal that 66 kind of equality, or about 66 villagers it's worth. So villager count incredibly equal. Town center on the back has come up for Count Von Count, but this one now looking very, very scary. Grass and Groom might even want to drop a market here and get a ridiculous trade route going here. You can drop a market here, trade to this town center, and that's one of the best trade routes you'll ever see. And we'll see if he's going to be able to notice that that's going to be an option for him, as the units taking this one out. We do see the farms getting cleaned up, as well as the military barracks does come down. As now the Contarius units moving forward here. We do see a Migdol getting thrown up by Count Von Count, as he doesn't want to be giving up in this game just yet. He's still got plenty of economy here to spend. He's trying to defend here, as we do see this town center now coming up for Grass and Groom. Is this too greedy though for Grass and Groom? We'll see how he's going to go. He doesn't have a whole lot of defenses over here. We've got the units spreading around along the map everywhere, as these spearmen will be able to clean up that Contarius, though the Arcus are out to deal with those spearmen, but he does need a handful more units over here, as the Monument to the Soldiers does go down. More units coming through, as the villagers going to try and push through and try and prevent this town center from going up. That's the spearmen over on this location. We do see the market is over here for Grass and Groom. Not the best, as this Citizen does get sniped down, as the raid's going to continue here. And the siege tower coming through onto this town center. Grass and Groom moving his Citizen over here. We got 3 siege towers here for count on count 4 siege towers here as Grass and Groom's town center over here looks like it will be getting taken down incredibly quickly, but count on count not microing it too well. We did see one citizen getting cleaned up here as this barracks going to be getting cleaned up. The unit's still trying to push through over on this position as this town center is just about to go up. Count on count really playing this one nicely. You got to attack where your opponent is weakest, and obviously not a whole lot of stuff is over here as these citizens doing their best to take out these siege towers, but they're just not able to do it. The town center goes down, and Count von Count is flipping this map right now from a kind of this way access to a this way access, or axis, I should say. And we'll see how it's all going to go. Is Grass and Groom just about to get this town center up for himself. Lots of resources in the bank now. Should start thinking about getting upgrades or going to that mythic age as the siege towers are going to be rolling through here to take out even more of Grass and Groom's base here. And we'll see how things are gonna unpack themselves here in this game. Adds of wet bronze shields coming through for Count von Count. If we take a look at his upgrades here, adds of wet doesn't actually do anything unless you've got bowsaw or carpenters. It's a little bit less effective with carpenters, but it does do something with carpenters. So you do need to get bowsaw and adds of wet at the same time for it to be any sort of effectiveness here. As the units now for Grass and Groom going to be pulling back home. He's realizing his home base under a bit of a threat here as the siege towers pushing in onto this town center. They're going to get denied, going to get picked off very, very quickly by these citizens here as the town center stays alive for the time being. Migdol Stronghold over here staying very much alive here. 7 chariot archers for Count von Count as he's going to be grabbing this town center for himself while the red units are coming back here. Grass and Groom, 1,000 food in the bank, 700 gold. He wants to get to that next age here. More siege towers coming through here as Grass and Groom not paying attention. He might be losing this town center soon. As look at it, it's at a quarter HP. The citizen now going to get brought in to take this out. Count von Count not really paying attention here. He's actually focusing on the citizen instead of the town center as this siege tower will get a couple more shots in onto this location here as it does go down. This one goes down before it even gets any shots off as the destroyers going after this Migdol Stronghold. The town center going to be actually coming up for Count von Count as Atlas now coming through for Grass and Groom. I'm surprised to see Atlas here. I would have thought going through Helios would have been the choice here. Having Vortex to jump from this location, like over here to over here, dealing with this would have been much, much better. Also having those immediate siege units with the Heka Gigantes could have been a really, really big help to take down these Migdol Strongholds and everything else. As you see some more some more barracks coming up, siege works coming down for Count von Count. They cost 25 gold. They do take a long time to build, but they're really, really cheap. So throwing them down all across the map, not a bad idea here in the slightest. Is Grass and Groom doing a little bit of micro over here, trying to keep his heavy destroyer alive on that location as the Mamillo getting cleaned up. We see Count von Count now pushing through on this location. Probably could take out that armory there as well. So I haven't seen that marker getting thrown down. The other thing here is now that Count von Count can do exactly the same sort of trade route. He can put a market up over here and trade all the way back to this town center at a very, very safe line there for him to go for and throw walls up all along that location to defend that trade route and be completely fine there. Now the citizen going down. We see these siege towers pushing through onto this location there. Siege tower here getting cleaned up on that location. Nice play from Grass and Groom, still staying alive here. The Mythic Age just about to pop. I guess Implode here is where you want to be dropping it. Probably. You've got to throw it down fairly quickly here, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Implode directly on top of those chariot archers. The chariot archer is going to be jumping into the Migdol Stronghold. That actually does not save them. They get sucked right out of that location. It looks like the Migdol will probably die. A whole bunch of villagers going to be going down as well as Count von Count dropping down in population yet again here as boom. Oh, Migdol Stronghold survives with 16 HP here. But a bit of reprieve for Grass and Groom as he does need to get himself fortified town centers here. He's not researching it just yet. 145 or 145 population as the palace coming up on this position over here. Do we see any attack over here? Not really. There's nothing left here. So Grass and Groom could potentially go for a ton of destroyers or siege weapons to just push through this location and put some real good pressure onto Count von Count. You can see his gold super low here. as the units breaking through onto this location here. The Migdol goes down. Palace coming up over here. Gold Villagers on this gold mine. This gold mine has been has expired here as well. And I think Grass and Groom isn't really playing this this situation to the best of his ability, because he's not. His focus is mostly just being on town centers here, where the gold mines are everything here. He kind of knows there's no villagers on this gold mine. He knows there's no villagers over here. He knows that there could be a gold mine over here, but the gold villagers are on this location, and this location. And he's got good line of sight over here. So he actually, if he has just 2 seconds of thought here, he would be able to realize exactly where to send his units. But at this point, it's very obvious that he just wants this town center back. It does have fortified town centers. It does have masons. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult one to take out here, as Count Von Count has got himself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 siege towers. 5 on the way here. It's getting more out. 6 siege towers here. He's going for a huge siege tower push into potentially the main base of Grass and Groom, as well, Grass and Groom does have himself now fortified towns and his champion infantry coming through as well. Siege towers coming in onto this location, as well as Count Von Count says, what's the point in building units when you can build siege weapons, as he's coming through here, going to try and take out this town center over here. We do see the citizen does notice that one, going to be able to easily pick off these siege towers, but the siege towers will be able to take down the palace here. As the siege towers coming through here to take down that palace on this location over here. We see Fire Siphon starting to come through for Count Von Count here as well. Oh, sorry, not Count Von Count, Grass and Groom here. As Count Von Count trying desperately to hold on onto this position. We see the citizen coming through over here too little too late, as the palace does get taken down. Meanwhile, the citizen and the Contarius do manage to pick off the siege towers over here, as Count Von Count is just going to continue to put pressure in onto this game here, as the Contarius checking this gold mine out over here. Going to notice that there's nothing there. Another siege tower going to come through, as this siege tower over here was. Most of these were dealt with, but more military buildings are going to be coming down. The Fire Siphon here, 1 Fire Siphon, not going to be enough here in this location, as the it's the mercenary cavalry going to be desperately trying to hold on, as Count Von Count has been sitting under population for so long in this game. But this is such a weird play. He is effectively just going mass siege towers. The counter to mass siege towers is Catapulti. Funnily enough, it's a unit you don't see too often from the Atlantean sides of things. We're not seeing Grass and Groom make this connection to exactly what Count Von Count is doing here. Because Catapulti, little known fact, because it's not a unit built very much, gets 150% bonus damage against siege weapons. And Grass and Groom has got himself access to champion infantry. So those are incredibly strong here. As this citizen getting pushed back, these siege towers have managed to start attacking the town center here. We do have masons here as well for Grass and Groom, but his town center is going to slowly go down as more citizen getting pulled through. Grass and Groom continuously losing villagers in this game. He does manage to get that citizen to safety through the town center here, as these siege towers going down here relatively quickly, but the town center is still very much alive. What is Grass and Groom doing in this game is the big question here. Architects coming through for Count Von Count, as well as a palace coming in. He's got his units spread around the map everywhere, as barracks getting thrown down on this position here, is potentially Grass and Groom not going to be noticing that, even though he's sending his units back here. The town center here very, very low in this game. Count Von Count's kind of multitasking and attacking multiple different areas is just absolutely crazy here thus far. As the palace coming up on this position, still no Catapulti coming up, which is making me very disappointed. More siege towers getting built into these siege works. Another temple coming up on this position over here. Let's look at this. We've got 5 siege towers here for Count Von Count, as they are moving straight in onto this palace over here. The citizen moving forward here to start taking these down as fast as they possibly can. We do see Grass and Groom's got his trade route started, but it's it's not inefficient, but it's not great. It's only 47 gold. You could be going from here, just time shift your market. Time shift it. Just do it. Same thing for Count Von Count. A market right here. It would be so good. We do see some raids coming through from those medium Contarius onto that position, as all those siege towers do end up coming down there. Another option for Count Von Count, and he is noticing this, is to push slightly towards this very back town center over here, as the siege tower pushing through onto this location here, as the Chaos does get dropped down on this position. Siege Towers coming through as well, as we'll see if he can hold on. That's so many Siege Towers rolling in onto this position. There's not enough Citizen over there as all the units of Grass and Groom kind of out in the middle of nowhere here as the Siege Towers coming through. We do see Architects coming in. It will be in time, but will he be able to take down all these Siege Towers or not? 1200 HP remaining here as these three Siege Towers in the back here, not making their way forward. We do see that building does go down there, and the town center does end up falling here as Count Von Count finds his first kind of tangible advantage in this game. Siege Tower Spearman apparently is the best army composition to use against Atlantean. Who'd have thunk it there? As the villagers swinging through on this location looking for a gold mine. He's going to be trying to grab this gold mine up at the top corner there. There's no gold mines kind of remaining left on the map. And he's got these top ones over here as well. More siege towers coming in. Potentially a Migdol stronghold to come in onto this position. But Grass and Groom now 150 or 140 population. Army upgrades looking full copper here. No upgrades for Count Von Count. He does have Pierce armor, bronze armor there, as his siege tower is going to be getting pulled back. There's not really a whole lot of use for that there either, as now the llama caravan's getting taken down on this position here as the mining camp does get thrown up there as well, as the heavy slingers getting cleaned up there. And we will be seeing this these very angry champion infantry pushing through. The town center getting thrown back up. All the citizen getting brought back in to get that one up there. I mean, here's the thing. Murmillo, they're not the worst at taking down siege towers. They've got 11.2 damage per second. If we take a look at the Catapulti, they're doing what looks to be 5 damage per second. The 5 damage per second is probably actually relatively similar to the champion Murmillo. Maybe that's not exactly what they got more than 5 damage? I think that's not accounting for the champion upgrades. Hang on, let me have a look here. Yeah, I don't think it does. There's probably going to be a little bit more. I guess it's kind of close using Murmillo instead of Catapulti. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone do some math for me and tell me if I'm right about that or not. As the wall's coming up on this position, we do see some champion Murmillo coming through. Funnily enough, that you can just time shift this market over here if you want to kind of deal with that. That nonsense. Because we've got 9 siege towers here for Count Von Count as the Grass and Groom Palace coming out. Another counter to siege towers is actually Fire Siphon. Fire Siphon very, very good against siege weapons. Funnily enough, 55 crush damage per second. Very good, and does it from range. As now we see the siege towers coming in onto this position. They are rolling in onto this town center over here. We've got 5 citizen here as this town center does manage to come back up here. Is where are the red units here? He's trying to take down the villagers over on this location as the siege towers rolling in here. That's 9 siege towers here. The spearmen get dropped here to take down the citizen. The citizen coming through here to try and shake down this as fast as he possibly can, but there's just no units over here for Grass and Groom to start pushing through. Count Von Count is dictating this game's pace so well here as the back town center goes down, and he still has got himself 6 siege towers here. Imagine if imagine if Count Von Count got himself draft horses here. Those siege towers would move very speedily and would be much easier to use as the town center goes down. Now we're seeing Grass and Groom finally getting a little bit of a reprieve here, pushing through onto this town center over here. Count Von Count's got himself 29 trade caravans now, trading very, very nicely here. Doesn't have the Pharaoh on that location, but he's got 29 trade caravans, which is going to allow him to spam out Mercenary onto this location over here. As the citizens all get taken down. We've got some Arcus, some Contarius here to deal with those spearmen as well. I do think that at this point, you've got to think that Arcus are a complete waste of time to be building. You want Contarius, you want Fnatic, you want Murmillo, you want food-based units here to deal with what Count Von Count's doing. And now Count Von Count is kind of realizing that, hey, maybe I don't need Spearmen. But that, especially because his opponent is full champion Fanatics, you can go Contarius here. They don't get a bonus against Siege, but they've got a very, very high amount of damage here at 12 damage and a lot of Pierce armor. So when your opponent goes Axeman Siege, it's just pure Contarius. When your opponent goes Spearman Siege, you can make Murmillo, Fnatic, or Catapultis in a way. As this town center attempting to come back up, this Murmillo trying to help defend this one over here. Grassroom got 23 citizen here on this game. He's trying to figure this one out. It's now this siege tower pushing in over here. We've only got the one hero citizen over here to deal with this. There's more siege towers rolling through here. We've got 5 citizen making their way through here to deal with these siege towers as they're pushing in to take down the palace over here. As this siege tower does end up going down. Another citizen here ready to take down the other one, but he's kind of not microed at what is happening here. These citizen mining this gold mine over here. The building's all going to get cleaned up over on this position here as Grass and Groom really struggling to make this work here. More fire slide coming down as now Count Von Count's town center is finally starting to get close to falling here. The village is going to be repairing this one back up as best as they possibly can. The siege tower does go down. The citizen over here getting cleaned up as well. The town center over here going to be getting taken down. Grass and Groom losing his palace down as well here as Grass and Groom going from 160 population moments ago down to 120 population here as the town center will be falling, and we'll see if he can get this town center back up going forward or if Count Von Count's going to have an advantage here, but I'm not sure what the real solution here is for Grass and Groom, because Count Von Count now 160 of 169 population. He's going to be hitting that late game power spike or late game dream that Egyptian players do love, as we see the villagers now moving forward, going to attempt to fight off those enemy citizens. We see another palace getting thrown up over here as some destroyers trying to get built out. He's got Arcus coming out of here for whichever reason. I still don't think that Arcus are a unit that should be getting built in this game. They don't seem to be very useful at all here, as we see some towers getting thrown up to try and help these villagers here as they want to grab this town center back. And the villagers here of Count Von Count have to pull back here. We do see some more units trying to break down this town center here. Just no real big building killers, so they're going to take a while to kill that one off as this town center getting built back up. We do have 1 or 2 siege towers going to come through here potentially to target down that home town center while this all goes up. But Count Von Count a little bit population blocked here. He's got, oh no, he's got so many axemen in the middle of the map here. It's not the unit he wants here anymore. But we'll see what he's going to be able to do with that moving forward with a ton of axemen. He should be thinking about getting himself some upgrades here. Grass Groom might want to consider getting himself like a Titan out or something in this game, though. I don't even know if you could get the Titan down here, as we see a handful of units trying to delay this town center as best as it possibly can here. Grass Groom just about to get himself this town center up here as the siege tower here it's just sitting here being a little bit idle. We see the buildings on this position getting cleaned up as 19 or 18 axemen coming in onto this position. A little bit of a funky army composition here from Count Von Count. Does he cancel those? Yes, he does. He's getting himself heavy axemen, realizing he's probably made a little bit of a mistake here getting out those axemen. He's still sitting, Count Von Count is still sitting in the heroic age. He still has access to the mythic age. And honestly, I don't even know what he should go. Osiris or Thoth. I think either option would be a good one here. Going Osiris for the Son of Osiris and the mummies and everything else here would be a really big help. But also going Thoth for Book of Thoth, and maybe even going into like war, like champion Tusk of Apidamet. Oh, what is it? Yeah, I think that's it. Tusks of Apidamak would be a really good play as well here to transition. We'll see what he really wants to do as the town center on the top gets up. The town center on the bottom gets up as well, as the villagers not paying attention over here yet again. More siege towers coming in here to take out these palaces as Grass and Groom here. He is trying his darkness to defend, but what is happening in this game? We've got 19 llama caravans, and we do see in the end here Thoth, the god of choice for Count Von Count, not wanting to go through Osiris here, says Thoth is the way we're going. This game is absolutely insane here, as it looks like the town center might be actually going down here, as Grassroom finally getting a little bit of an advantage back here. The villager comes forward, going to start shanking this one down. The town center getting repaired back up. We've got a lot of really strong hack units here to take this town center down. It's getting closer and closer to falling here in this game. Where is the population of Count Von Count? He has lost his resources completely here as the town center goes down, and potentially now Grass and Groom, after all is said and done, maybe here will be able to stabilize, get the town center back, and be okay in this game. He's been under so much pressure here. This palace getting taken down. The village is still trying to defend over here on this position. Grass and Groom, plenty of resources in the bank. Thoth coming in very, very quickly here. The big question is maybe, just maybe, Count Von Count is saying, I'm going to sack this town center. I'm going to nuke this town center here with Meteor. And I'm going to try and reposition this back to that horizontal instead of vertical kind of map split here. There's another palace coming up over here for Grass and Groom as Count Von Count is desperately trying to hold on in this game. Town center on the way. A couple more citizen coming through. These axemen here going up as well. There's the Thoth coming through for Count Von Count. He does have the Phoenix out as well, which is going to be a good unit to come onto this position. One thing that Grass and Groom hasn't really tried thus far in this game, as we do see Titan Shield coming in, is kind of time shifting buildings in onto this trade route over here. All you got to do is he's got lots of resources in the bank. You just get one of the palace here that you don't really need so much, like a palace here. You just time shift in and onto this location, and your opponent won't get notified of it very much. Is this dock over here going to get cleaned up? I don't think you should worry about this too much, but this is a war total here that is taking up 5 populations points of Count Von Count's population there. He does notice that, he does delete it, and it's only been there for a handful of seconds there, so Count Von Count very much on top of things here. As you do see a Siege Works coming in, the Phoenix on the trade route of Grass and Groom's trade here, doing a lot of damage to that one there. You do have to get yourself out of here, or Arcus or two, to deal with that Phoenix. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. He's got a whole bunch of Arcus over here as the palace coming out. One question here is, does the Argus, because its attack is range, like, let me have a look here. Its attack, acid blob, no. It's a hack. It's a hack unit, so his special does not work on the Phoenix. I want to say that's a little bit funny. I guess it's kind of similar to the Frost Giant. The Frost Giant Freeze not working on Phoenix or rocks or anything either. As flood control coming through for Count Von Count here. The Murmillo coming back here to try and take down these spearmen on the back. All of those forward buildings getting cleaned up here as Count Von Count. What is he trying to do? He's getting Book of Thoth, flood control. He's putting pressure onto the trade route over here. Obviously, a very, very important thing to do as the gold mine's starting to expire in this game. These citizens, both very low HP, pulling back into this town center, going to be able to take out those spearmen, go back onto the gold very, very shortly here. As the Murmillo coming back onto this position over here, Grass and Groom will be wanting to clean that all up. Not a single wall being dropped just yet by Grass and Groom here. We'll see how things are going to go. There's now the Arcus moving over onto this position over here as well. Meanwhile, villagers on this position getting sniped down here as Count Von Count is he's just unrelenting with his attack. He is just throwing units at Grass and Groom this entire game, putting pressure on literally everywhere here. As Grass and Groom tries to push through, we do see the Contarius getting cleaned up. Fire Siphon pushing in to try and break through this location here. Got some units coming in over here to take down the trade route. But will Grass and Groom finally start dropping like palaces, time shifting in onto this location here? He doesn't have the resources to do it just yet. He's got 4 town centers. He's got the advantage moving forward here in this game, but he needs to get those citizen back out. He needs to get he's got a good trade right here as the Phoenix coming back over onto this location. We do have an Arcus here. We've got the Slinger here to deal with this one over here as well. But this is a pretty tense position here. I mean, just put the market over here, my friend. Go of Junk. You've already got like all the palaces here to kind of defend everything. But Grass just not paying attention to that one there, as we do see a catapult coming in to try and take this down. The walls coming up for Count Von Count to try and get a nice position here. Maybe another barracks here and some more buildings over here. Get the walls down to finish that off. Wouldn't go astray, as that gold mine does prevent the walls from getting built up over there as units trying to break through this gate over here. Again, we see some the 41-minute slingers coming through for Count Von Count here as well. You haven't seen that meteor getting dropped down just yet by Count Von Count. I feel like Count is saving meteor for a Titan gate here. I think that's what he's doing. He's going to say, I'm going to hold on to the meteor. I'm going to go for Titan, and that's going to be the game plan here eventually. As you know, it's a really, really good play. We'll see if it's going to work out for him or not. As the Migdol does, he's going to get taken down over there. Siege towers starting up again for Count Von Count. Look at the villages. I didn't notice this, but Count Von Count is down to 38 villages. He's got 40 camel caravans, so he's still technically at 80 villages, but he's super, super behind on the villager count here, and he doesn't have that many upgrades here either. I mean, he does have 12 fishing ships as well, so technically it's not that bad. But Grass and Groom is slowly but surely taking everything out here as the trade route over here getting cleaned up. We do see the siege towers coming in onto this position yet again. So unfortunately for Grass and Groom, he still hasn't figured out that he can use time shift in this game. I think he's used it a couple of times, but it's one of those advantages that we do see the Phoenix are getting cleaned up here. It's one of those advantages that I think a lot of Kronos players don't really remember and don't really understand as a super important part of the late game of Kronos and what makes Kronos' late game very, very scary. But we might be seeing that happening later in this game as we do see the catapults do manage to come in and take down this town center of Grass and Groom as he's wasn't really paying attention to that one here. So he's still trying to deal with this consistent pressure on this location over here as he just can't deal with this. I mean, putting some towers up probably would be enough here to dissuade a couple of spearmen dealing with his llama caravans here. As the catapult's cleaning everything up over here as the unit's still trying to push through on this location. If you take a look at the kind of population in the economy for Grass and Groom, he's got 12 fishing ships and 33 llama caravans, which is looking at about 55 population. Then the 17 citizens there. That's times that by 3, so you're looking at another 50-ish population, just over 50 population there. He's like over 100 population of economy here, and he still doesn't have fully upgraded units. And that's how crazy this game is going in terms of like efficiency of the llama caravans and getting all the technologies you need and everything else in this game here. I need a drink of water. This game is absolutely insane. As now Count Von Count has cleaned up this back location and he's going to be able to get himself his town center back here. Town center on the way for Count Von Count. He's going to have 3 town centers here. Back to 3 town centers apiece. So Grass and Groom was fighting kind of fine for quite some time here. As he's putting pressure over onto this market here. We're still seeing Axemen come through, putting pressure onto the llama caravans of Grass and Groom. He doesn't really have any towers in his main base, but he could simply just time shift this tower over here. Naval Auxiliaries coming through for... Wait, it's not in range. Surely that's not in range. It looks like it's not to me, but we're seeing Count Von Count going to try it. He's got the war barge here. It's not. There's no way that's in range, right? We see a marker coming down here for Count Von Count to start the trade route. Over on the other side of the map, it's pretty inefficient, but... I guess we'll wait and see. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. That's so far. Okay, he can't make it. He can't make it. Grass and Groom lives another day here as we see some towers coming up on this position over here. Wait. Is it in range? No. He's built another one. Oxy War Barge. No, it would be attacking. It would be attacking. If we take a look at Count Von Count's line of sight, it is in line of sight, but it's... Nope. I thought, nope. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if he deletes those a little bit later, but towers now coming up onto this position. The units pushing through. We see some more towers coming through for Count Von Count. Sitting at 137 of 169 population. His economy still very, very low here. I mean, he's got, what? He's got a ton of villages on the farms there, but still spreading out onto this trade route. I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea here for Grass and Groom to just throw a market up over here and just accept that his trade route's going to be a little bit weak. Like over on, I mean, obviously those units were over here. As we see some docks coming in onto this position there to put some pressure onto the water of Count Von Count here. Some docks coming up over here to try and take down this market here with some using like naval locks abilities that he did spend there. Now the Migdol stronghold going down. We've got the fire siphon coming through. It's Grass and Groom still trying to push through. Here we've got the Murmillo trying to push through. We do have the villagers on this gold mines. There's still a little bit of gold left on this map. If you're short on gold, dude, just right click on the gold mine. No problems for the time being. This Grass and Groom is saying, look, I don't care about my trade route anymore. I'm just going to keep putting pressure onto you and push through here. I mean, trying to get onto this town center would be everything. You can see Meteor coming down here does hit those villages straight away. I thought Count Von Count was holding onto that Meteor for a Titan Gate, as the palace does end up going down there. As the Migdol stronghold does end up going down on this position over here. Count Von Count smashing in onto that one. We got 2 HP remaining on those citizens over there, but we got 10 Axemen taking down a palace. They do 6 damage per second. They're scratching that palace at this point. As the units do push through here, the camel caravans we're deleting the mark here, it seems, as they're all pushing through. He can just send the camel caravans over onto this town center now, which is probably what he's going to be doing here, as they're kind of struggling to get through on that location. A lot of those camel caravans are going to get picked off here. As what is the plan for Count Von Count? Looking around the map here. 2 Oxy war barges sitting on this position to take down docks and everything else. As the docks do come up over on this position here for Count Von Count, he might be wanting to throw some buildings over here. The market is deleted, it seems, and placed into the center of the map. Yes! Grass and Groom finally realizes that the center of the map and doing a line here is going to be an incredibly smart way of doing this trade route. It's going to take, he's deleted all those buildings over here. He's kind of stabilized, but so too has Count Von Count in a way. As Grass and Groom pushing through here as best as he can. Do we see any sort of transport ship here? No. See the palace getting cleaned up over on this position over here, as the trade route starting to get very, very big. Look at this. He's now getting 57 gold, a 10 gold increase. As now the Murmillo pushing through onto this side over here, going to try and break down the trade route that's over here as well. Love that play. We're seeing some guard towers coming down as the units struggling to push through over here, as the fire siphon breaking through onto this position. We will be seeing the Pharaoh getting cleaned up here relatively quick, as it's going to be getting pulled back there as well. This Count Von Count's Migdol stronghold under a lot of pressure. There's not a whole lot of units over here. The villagers are trying to repair this one back up, as some fire ships coming out to try and deal with these. Fire ships not the best unit in the world, but they will be able to help out so long as your opponent doesn't micro it too much. Pretty sure the fire siphon's track rating is absurdly low. Yeah, track rating of 3.5, which is obviously really bad, because every single one of the units it wants to attack has got a higher movement speed than the fire siphon. But we will be seeing a little bit of a fight over here ensuing. I'm not sure Grass and Groom needs to care all too much about that there, but it seems like he's wanting to. As still pushing through over on this side here. Naval Auxiliaries coming through for Grass and Groom as well, because he sees this is an opportunity here. As the fire siphon do clean up all of those ramming galley here, going to be taking out the docks as well. One thing I wouldn't mind as a little bit of a buff for the fire ships is maybe just a slight bonus against docks, or a handful of crush damage, just to make them kind of take down the docks a little bit faster. I feel like they doing fire, they probably should have that there. Grass and Groom's economy is still a little bit low. Is he building villages here? Yes, he is. He's getting some villages out of his one town center here. Continuing to... the classic 49-minute, 33-second irrigation coming through for Grass and Groom here. Just a classic one. You see that just pretty much every single game. As the fire siphon here looks like it will be getting taken down here by those Oxy war barges. The villagers deal with that there, as the ramming galleys all pop out onto this position. 9 ramming galleys coming down to take out these docks over here and everything else. As Count Von Count now starting to push through on this location here, throwing more siege works down here. Barracks going up as well. We see the guard tower getting cleaned up as well here as the palace coming up on this position here. More axemen coming out for Count Von Count here as he's desperately trying to hold up on this one as the monuments of the soldiers coming down. There's no god powers really remaining here in this game though, as everything's been used, but Grass and Groom still pushing forward here. We're very low on the gold here for whatever reason. I think maybe his trade, he's got 27 trade caravans, so plenty of trade caravans, but he's just lost a lot of gold here and he's lost a lot of food to boot here in this game as he's having to garrison those fishing ships though. Just get villagers back out. Throw them onto your farms. Just play normally, no problems. As like Count Von Count still sitting at full population here as the mercenary cavalry are getting taken down. Fire Siphon going to be going down on this position as well as the heavy Arcus moving forward to take down the axemen and everything else on this position as the house does end up falling here. Crenellations coming through, engineers coming through as well for Count Von Count. Does he have some sort of sneaky shenanigans coming out? Like, obviously Count Von Count loves his siege towers. Oh, he's coming back in onto this position now to take out this town. So this could be absolutely huge. Like a wall here, some towers, a catapult, and Grass and Groom is going to be in a really, really difficult position. But Grass and Groom still pushing through here onto here as Count Von Count going to attempt to defend with his mercenary. He does have himself 54 camel caravan. 54 camel caravan, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, obviously his trade route is incredibly inefficient. He's getting 40 gold a kind of trip there, but jeepers. Bronze mail coming through now for Count Von Count as the town center starting to get attacked here. Meanwhile, on this position, still no siege towers coming out. Over here, we do see one siege tower pops out for Count Von Count as Grass and Groom pushing in here, trying to protect his lone fire siphon from coming in. These Arcus here are kind of the useless unit here. In the late game, with regards to archers, I do feel like you have to not use auto queue on your archers, because if you build, you don't want to replace your archers and get into this position, as you're going to see happening here for Grass and Groom. His Murmillo are going to be falling while his Arcus aren't, and that's going to mean that slowly but surely he's going to get into like a pure archer army with very few amounts of Murmillo in it, as we see a siege tower sneaking through onto this location. That sneaky siege tower here going to start putting some pressure on. Will Grass and Groom notice that another siege tower rolling through? The siege tower does go down. Grass and Groom hasn't paid attention just yet on that location. The town center getting slowly chipped down over here. Count Von Count not paying attention himself here to this siege tower. Needs to send that 40. Will be moving it in to kill off that military barracks there as the town center getting closer and closer to falling down. The fatigue of the late game starting to set in here by the 52nd minute mark as the town center here, 1700 HP remaining here. Count Von Count, sneaky movement here. Going to be able to take that town center down as Grass and Groom still not paying attention to it just yet. He's getting attacked all over the place. He's dealing with catapults on this location over here. He's dealing with mercenary villagers coming through, Pharaoh, everything else coming through over here. And now he notices it, but is it too little too late? 737 HP remaining here as the siege towers come through, and in that moment, Grass and Groom taps out. His will to continue in this game has dwindled. His economy is completely fine, but his town center is going to go down. And with this town center going down, a catapult and a wall here, literally all Count Von Count would need to keep this town center down forever. And he would be able to slowly but surely push back and prevent Grass and Groom from making any more of a lead in this game. What an insane game, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what to say. Here's the post game for you stat fanatics here. 127 villager unit count high there for Count Von Count. It's 981 to 678 units killed to lost for Grass and Groom. Absolutely insane. All resource total, Count Von Count in the lead quite significantly. Obviously, there you would need to, but an absolutely insane win here for Count Von Count. He wins the game. He wins the series in a complete sweep here, getting to go on to the actual round of 16. And these games games are insane. These are the best players currently playing Age of Mythology, and everyone is giving it their all. What an insane game. Such a creative strategy at the start here by Count Von Count. Grassing Groom too, putting some thought into this one. I really would have liked to see some shifting sands shenanigans here from Grassing. I think if he did that, he probably would have won. Getting time shifting Palace onto the trade route, towers onto the trade route, and things like that is so strong. But Grassing just didn't think about it. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.